Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today. This is Fatherhood Uncut, Episode 1. Time management is our topic today, and I'd like to touch on it and see what your thoughts are. Definitely get some feedback. Dustin, why is time management important to you?
Time management is important to get everything you want done. Yeah. I have a photography business. I'm a landlord. I have endless to-do lists on top of the honey-do list.
Right.
So just managing my time is the utmost important to my day, especially working a full-time job with 2 kids. Jared, why don't you go over your day-to-day routine?
All right, my day-to-day routine, Monday through Friday. I wake up 6 a.m. and I'm at the gym by 6:30 a.m. Superset everything to get out of there as fast as possible. I'm normally home by like 7:45, and that's my family time in the morning. My kids are already up. My wife's taking care of them. We sit and watch cartoons, play with the kids, go down for a nap for my youngest son.
Do you get to nap too with them?
Not at that current time. Not at the morning nap. No, not the very early morning nap. And then we normally do lunch like around 11. And after lunch, both of my kids will go down for a nap, and that is my nap time. That's either my nap time, my schoolwork time, or alone time with my wife. You know what I mean?
Which is super important.
Super important. Because with 2 kids, it's almost you have to schedule it out.
You got to schedule your meetings.
Exactly.
You got to get it.
Exactly.
I understand.
And then I'm off to work. I start work at 3 o'clock, and I work till 1 o'clock in the morning, which really stinks. Second shift stinks. Yeah, and I'm home. I'm home and in bed by 2 o'clock. Repeat Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, it's Saturday I do not go to the gym anymore. I will admit I took off Saturdays because that's my time with my wife Saturday, so I'm not so tired when it comes to Saturday night.
This is real recent.
Yes, I told you all about this the other day. It was personal time between me and my wife, and I fell asleep. I'm not proud of that, but it did happen. So I don't go to the gym early on Saturdays anymore. I sleep in a little bit.
Not that you need to. The supersets looks to be working.
Yeah, supersets work. Yeah. But I mean, weekends are for chores. I mean, cleaning, laundry, anything that needs done around the house, grocery shopping, and the fun stuff too. Taking my kids out, or we try to go do something. Hang out with you guys. We go do breakfast from time to time. We go get coffee. We go do, we do certain things.
So you do grocery shopping on the weekends?
I do. I grocery shop. I go to the gym. Well, no, I don't go to the gym. I used to go to the gym Saturday morning, but as soon as I would be done, I pick up my daughter, and we go. It's me and my daughter. That's like our alone time. Every Saturday morning, we go grocery shopping. We get home, and then, we do all our cooking, or I meal prep either Saturday or Sunday. Normally, laundry gets done that same day.
See, for me, is what I was trying to incorporate with our lives is to do our grocery shopping through the week. So we could really get weekend time to be weekend time, right? Like not to have another to-do on there, but it never works out that way. That's why we did the whole Walmart pickup thing. And
Walmart pickup, that saves numerous hours.
Yeah, but it's one or the other. Like, you do Walmart pickup and they don't have the stuff that you want, and your selection of stuff is super low, and everything is individually bagged. So I've got like 40 bags. So then every time I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, what about the fish? What about the fish?
True.
So time management for me is crucial because my wife's in the medical field, right? So not only does she have a 9 to 5, and her schedule's not set. It's 9 to 5, 5 to 2, 6 to 6, 6 to 8:30, and then she's on call on top of that, on the weekends, on holidays. So our communication has to be very robust. My listening skills have to be on point because I do not, for whatever reason, when I'm talking to my wife, sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. And I'm just going to be the first to admit it. Not because it's just, I'm doing that to be disrespectful. It's just sometimes, I'm just forgetful. And, I love her, but I do forget sometimes some of the things that she says. So our communication is through a calendar on our fridge. So we've got days marked out, 7 to 3 for me and 6 to 2 for her, and an on-call for this. And it's super important because if we overbook and overextend ourselves, then we miss commitments that we make. Miss time with kids in general, because if I'm like, oh, okay, I'm doing this right now. This is an hour of our time that we're, pulling away from them, so we've got to put that hour somewhere else. And scheduling out. We schedule out a month and a half sometimes, because she'll get her scheduled like about 8 weeks or so. And I don't know why in the medical field it can't be you work 7 to 3 Monday through Friday. It's not like that at all. It's all over the place. So, and when we have babysitters, so the babysitter that we have, we've got to be able to let her know ahead of time what her schedule is, because she has a fixed schedule. She's got a bunch of kids coming through, so all that has to be orchestrated out. That in itself is a task. I bet you that would be like 20% of an accountant's time, just figuring out the data points going from, babysitter to home to work. And then family. So if you're not, structured properly enough, you're just going to be robbing time from your kids and from your wife and from yourself. So, gym time thereafter. So I get up and I'm at the gym by 4 a.m. so that I can be home in time to get breakfast for me, get breakfast for my wife before everybody leaves for that day. So if I'm not there at 4 o'clock, I'm taking time from them, or I'm going to be late for work. So it's like super important, and that's why I got to wake up at 4 o'clock. I'm out the door. And I appreciate from you guys telling me don't set 30 alarms. Set one alarm, put your foot down, and go. Or because I'll be sitting there, I don't know how many times I've been laying in bed, and I get like my third alarm, my wife's beating the crap out of me, saying, get out of bed, your alarm's going off, or just turn your phone off. And there's so many times I'm waking up at like 3:15, and then my phone falls in my face because I'm like half asleep still. So.
First thing you do is the most important part of your day, man. If you just lay there, that's the first thing you're doing for the day, and that's not good.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Completing your first task, getting out of bed.
And then making your bed.
Yeah, making your bed, yes. That's very important.
See, this one I struggle with.
I don't make my bed.
I don't make my bed either.
You can't, because your wife's still laying.
Thank you.
Both of you,
Well,
we all wake up before like the other.
That is
Or
not,
significant
well,
other.
No, during the week I'm actually the last one out of bed. But,
Okay.
But I still don't make my bed.
We all have something to work on.
we all have our pitfalls, right?
Yeah.
If your only pitfall is not making your bed, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
So time management also is crucial, because I think of it as a bigger scope. Like by 2, my kid should be getting potty trained. By 5, 6 years old, they're in kindergarten. So making sure that you have those stepping stones in place, and you're hitting those data points so that your children are progressing like they should, or how you want them to, and how you're progressing like that. So you're kind of a litmus test on your parenting skills, on how your kids are doing. So if right now we're struggling with potty training, right? Well, then sometimes I see, on social media and stuff like that, well, at this time, and it's managed correctly, they should be doing this. So it's pretty crucial. Aiden was different from Harper in that aspect. He was potty trained super easy.
Your life was very different from at that point in time to your life at this point in time as well, though.
Good point. Yeah.
So that's something big. Okay, one question: when you have something pop up, how do you deal with it? When something that you had not planned come up, how do you take out of your time, or what do you lose to make up for that?
So for a couple instances, because I like this, and I appreciate you asked that. So if our primary babysitter calls out, she's sick, because she's around kids all day, she could get sick. So she calls out, she's like, I can't watch Harper on Monday morning. Luckily, I'm a bit flexible on my schedule in my position, right? So I can be in at 7:30 and rather than 7 o'clock. So I'll have time to call my plan B, plan C, plan D person. Thankfully, yet I haven't had to where I had to stay home. There's been one day where I did stay home on my own accord, and that was okay. But I hadn't had to stay home yet because of that falling through. So just having those contingency plans and those backups for each thing, because and my style of thinking, being a dad, is okay. Well, what if this happens? This has to be ready to go. Or what if this happens? Like when crap hits the fan kind of thing. So you always have it on the back of your head. Yeah. But obviously, most of the time, it's like I got to get up at 3 a.m. so that I'm at the gym at 4 a.m. So, but what about you? I like that question. I'm going to throw it back to you.
I had to trim the fat, man. Instead of spending an hour on homework, I'll spend 45 minutes. Instead of, spend an hour at the gym, I'll cut it to 45 minutes and try to expand that time block. Either that or it's cutting out of my sleep. And at 4.5 hours a night, I'm already getting very little sleep. So cutting out of my sleep schedule is really hard. So, I'll cut my nap a little bit shorter. As long as I still get one, I'll be fine. I'm one of the people that I like to be everywhere super early, so where I may be like, okay, I can just get there, 10 minutes before something. I don't have to get there half an hour before. Like, I show up to work half an hour early almost every day. It gives me time to eat my meal before I sit down. It's like, but I really don't need to be there that early.
Right.
So I can get there, just 10 minutes early, and that'll expand, a little bit of time that I have during my day.
And it's so weird you say that because every time we go somewhere together, we're always late. So every time
you're late.
Me and my wife. He's on time.
He's early. He makes up for your you being late. Yes.
And it's just one of those. I don't know what it is. Like my wife and I must be synced up like that and destined to be together because it just seems like when we have something we're always 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late and. Each time we're always late to stuff, but we're rushing around. So maybe our time management needs some tweaking, but seems like everything's kind of meshing in and working.
I have an unnatural fear of being late. I fear it. It's weird. I don't know, but
can you guide me, Sensei? Oh man. So, you trim the fat. How does having a stay-at-home wife help or not help your time management? Because in my head, I'm thinking that you probably have more freedom, but it seems like you actually might not.
That's not so true. My wife is a stay-at-home mom, so if something does come up, I have to go to work early or something like that. It's not a huge issue, but like I say, it still does cut out of my other things. Obviously, if I have to drop the gym a day, I'll drop the gym a day. If it becomes crucial that kid's sick or something or whatever, or cars in the shop or whatever, something big like that. But it's a huge help. In all honesty, we're a team. Anything I can't do, she picks up for me. My wife's great. She's letting me do a podcast when I could be at home spending time with my family or whatever, And she actually wanted me to do this. It wasn't she wanted me to be here. So
well, she picked us up from the gym this morning. We rucked in this morning,
That's
and
right.
she picked us up, and she was sitting in the back seat before we even came outside. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Heather. So, Dustin, your wife also has a full-time job.
Full-time.
And with your 2 kids and all your different adventures and endeavors you got going on, how is your wife's schedule and your schedule working out?
So the good thing about us both working full-time, she doesn't feel like she needs a release from the kids. As Heather is hey,
absolutely. My wife,
so
she is all the time I need a break. I need a
Right.
break, which is absolutely,
Yeah.
totally cool.
her job is, watching your kids
Right,
on
right.
top of other people's kids.
Yep.
My wife then wants to spend time with the kids. So if I have to go to a wedding, all Saturday and then Sunday morning, I'm I just want to sleep in because I was out to 10, 11 o'clock, hours past our bedtime.
Right.
So my wife is like you said, picking up the slack. She'll meal prep for me. She does, all of the chore. Yeah, she meal preps for me. Shout out to Liz. So she is what you said. She is the anchor to everything I get to do. She manages our rental properties, so she knows we have a Google Calendar. She knows where she can schedule me to go do maintenance. But if there's emergency maintenance, I work full time. Very, very good company. If I have to leave early or come in late, my old boss was really great with that.
Shout out to that old boss.
So it's just been really great to have a lot of flexibility in my life.
Or when you miss your keys and he just drives those keys to your wife.
Shout out to Wayne. Saved me he got me a gold slip. But yeah, so just having I owe it to my wife, and now I'm tapering off of weddings, the season.
Right.
It's winter right now when we're recording this. So now I have time to do the podcast. Still haven't told Liz about that. So, you know.
Oh, she gonna find out.
Oh, she gonna find out. Yeah. So how about you?
So, in what aspect? Because I mean, I touched on her
Yeah,
being in the
yeah,
medical
yeah.
field. You know, my relationship with my family and gym life, and why time management is crucial. Because, you know, just like Jared, I'm in school as well to further my career. I'm trying to get my bachelor's degree. I'm actually on a little bit of a hiatus right now. I kind of just stopped taking the classes. I contacted them. I was like, look, I got a lot going on. And I put it on hold because it's just the one thing that I felt like I didn't need right now. I know that's like super crazy. Wait, you don't need to, you know, educate yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying right now at this point in my life, I felt like all these different things were kind of taken off, and I had to grab them before they kind of got away from me, and one thing I would let go. And I appreciate my wife in that aspect because just like yours, I got all these crazy harebrained ideas, and she was like, you know, well, pump the brakes. Like, we can do this, we can't do this. She's like, we also need to pay our mortgage. So, like, you can do this, but you can't be doing this to this degree. It's super important to have that communication and that structure and that openness in your relationship for your time, her time. Because that's another thing that we got to figure out here. Like, it's not just us as fathers and our time management, but how we can, you know, do all this with our wives in sync. You know, I don't want to say like in tow because that's just crazy, but like in sync because, I mean, there's my wife runs it, so she's the one that like she formulates the schedule. We don't do a Google Calendar, but we do the handwritten calendar on the fridge. So she formulates that, and I just put in my stuff, you know, on the side like real chicken scratchy, so like she can't read it.
She
and
pencils it in.
Yeah.
You pencil it in, and she's like.
Well, no, so it'll be like everything that'll be out there, and then I'll put like podcasts with guys like real small, just like right on the side real quick, and it'll be like the day before, and I'm like, it's been up there. She's like, no, because I know, because I check it and she flips it through. So, and super great. And going to bed, like, so going to bed at the same time every night, that's whenever I feel the most successful. Like, super successful is when, if I'm hitting bed at the same time every night, because it doesn't matter if I'm getting, you know, 5 hours of sleep, because that's basically what it is every night. If I'm going to bed at the same time and I'm waking up at the same time, I get accustomed to that. Now, if I'm going to bed like an hour later, an hour earlier, and I wake up at the same time, I'm groggy as heck. So, I'm just keeping to that structure.
It's the internal clock of you getting to hitting the sheets at the same time. Your body will adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all do it. We all go to bed at the same time, more or less. Correct?
Except for weekends, since I work second shift, I'm not going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning on the weekends, which does throw me off.
And
weekends,
it throws you off.
Weekends, I'm exhausted, man. Like I say, Saturday mornings. That is why I stopped going to the gym in the morning, because I'm just my internal clock is so thrown off Saturday, Sunday mornings from that. You know, I get up and I end up, you know, passing out on my couch for an hour, and my wife gets mad.
I feel for you. That's gonna be tough. I mean, just doing your schedule, just without all the extra stuff that you add into it, just doing that schedule. I know people that are just not good at it. Right? They're late at work all the time, or they're always constantly searching for a first shift job and not seeing it through, and then actually making the proper steps. But you know, you've been doing it for what, a year and a half?
Year now, yeah.
Okay. So just that alone, plus all the other extra stuff you're doing,
So pro tip on going to bed at the same time: if you have troubles going to sleep because you have so much to do the next day, jot down quick to-do list in the mornings. Like you guys go to the gym, right? Mm-hmm. But my mornings, some mornings consist of I got photos to deliver, or you know, I got business to run. Mm-hmm. So I get free time from my kids. So like, you want me to come to the gym? I'm like, no, man, I got to. My 5 a.m. is, you know, editing photos and stuff. So the night before, it's a to-do list. So I know what I'm doing tomorrow morning. I'm not waking up, getting that dopamine hit of Facebook, and then right there I just sucked a whole hour that I could have been, you know, doing schoolwork for my apprenticeship,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. Like, setting that to-do list is crucial for the tone of the day, on top of no alarms and putting the feet down as soon as your alarm goes off.
I need to make a to-do list. I constantly throughout the day, I'm like, man, am I getting everything done? Like, I'm constantly, like, it's a stress, like, I don't need. I'm like, man, am I doing everything? It's
you forget
stressful.
stuff, and it eats at your brain. That's like mental capacity. I know this might be
Take it away from your bandwidth.
Yeah, like I think this still ties into time management. You're like, now your like mental capacity is like, wait, should I be doing this or this? Prioritize a list.
So
I mean,
distracted.
even things I think about all week, I'm like, I need to remember to do this. I need to remember to do this. I need to remember to do this, and then I still forget because like you said, I don't write it down. That's
Dude, write it down. I mean,
write it down. Well, I did it on my phone this morning. When I was rucking to the gym, I recorded my voice as I was coming up with ideas for my next book. Plug, sorry.
we will link to that in the show notes.
Touch on that later, yeah.
No, we'll link to that in the show notes. So
time management, just to kind of circle back through, and for me and what it is for two working figureheads in our family. Open communication between all parties, especially with a preteen. Every time I pick him up from wherever he's at, he says, "What's the plan?" I don't know why he needs to know the plan, but he needs to know the plan. So, just open communication, dialogue with everybody, and keep a schedule on the forefront so that everybody can see it, everybody has complete visibility of it, and making sure that you close the loop of that schedule. So if you don't do something, cross it out or, kind of structure it out. Exactly.
Yes. Over schedule everything. That was huge for my family and us.
Yeah.
Like Liz and I, we overschedule. Like
Overschedule.
Like she just put decorating cookies from 1 to 3. After
I see where you're going.
Everything gets put on there. If it can be scheduled out, it's scheduled because I might have just yesterday I had to go fix a fence at one of my rental properties. So guess who didn't get to go to decorating cookies?
Liz.
It's just thanks. That was a poor dad joke, by the way. Yeah, so it's just overscheduling, in my opinion. So what do you think has benefited? You have benefited greatly from one
takeaway that you're like, wow, that was a helping hand, or that was a aha moment.
From this podcast.
No, from time management.
From time management, trimming the fat. I don't really know where to go.
Just keeping to it.
Yeah, in order to be successful, I have to, learn where to cut time out of some things and what's most important that day, and that's what gets me through every single day.
Like Arnie says, sleep faster. Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, it just seems like everything that, if it's not structured, to a T almost, you're going to take away from your sleep. And if you're not right, ain't nobody else right. The people that you're looking after.
And cutting into the sleep, that is probably one of the worst things. That's why I won't wake up at 3 a.m. Because I go to bed at 8. I know I'm good on 8.5 hours.
8.5? That's 2 days of sleep. 8.5 hours?
8.5 hours. Sue me.
That's a hibernation, man.
Sue me.
That's 8.5.
I work harder than you. Oh. All right.
Oh, you mean more physically?
This is Fatherhood Uncut. Episode
1.
Time management.
Time management.
Thanks, everybody.